What is going on, everyone? I hope all of you guys are doing well. Welcome to the channel. Today's video is going to be a collection update, but before I get started, I wanted to let you guys know that my Film Talk with Mikey podcast is going to be happening sooner rather than later. As you guys know, a couple of years ago, I think back in like 2022, and I believe also last year, I had talked about wanting to do a podcast. Well, it's definitely going to be happening, but it's going to happen sooner rather than later. I already have three topics I want to talk about, one being remakes, one being the Crow franchise, and the other being about Tim Burton and his films. And I'm pretty excited about these three topics. And as I work on these topics and get these podcasts happening, I will also be in the process of writing future episodes as well. So I'm pretty excited on where this is going to be going. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little sneak peek of what's to come, because there's a lot that is to come. So with that being said, yeah, ended up picking a pretty decent amount of titles. I had some eBay funds, so I was able to get a few of these. And I also used a zip payment, or not zip payment, but yeah, a zip payment of some sort. But I used the Zip app. It's a 4 payment plan. It doesn't affect your credit. This is coming from the guy who doesn't have the best credit. So it doesn't affect your credit, but if you are late, they charge you $7. They will charge you a small little fee on your debit card if you're using it to make these purchases. But basically, how it works is you go through the app, whatever website you're on. It could be Barnes and Noble, it can be eBay, Amazon, and when you do sign up for the app, you get proof for a specific amount. And basically, you pay your first payment right away, and then 2 weeks from each payment will be your next one until it's paid off. The more you use it, the more your balance increases. Now, I've been using this app for a few years now. A lot of what you've seen in my collection has been bought from using that app, as well as some stuff from my, eBay business, like my thermal printer and a few other things here and there. So it definitely comes in handy. I've got one of my friends to use it. My family uses it. So it comes in handy if you're looking to pick some things up but don't want to pay the full price for them, or if you want to do Christmas shopping, it comes in handy. But it's a great app to use, especially if you don't want to, affect your credit score, then or your credit in general. Then it's definitely an app worth using. One thing I like about this app is when you have your debit card set for your payments, a lot of times it will send you an email, and they will text you letting you know that you do have a payment coming up. I think before I upgraded my phone, my last phone I had, it would set an alarm to give me a reminder that I had a payment due. So I thought that was pretty cool. So it does come in handy. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and get right into this because there is a lot to show you guys. So we're going to start off with the DVDs. I did manage to pick up a pretty decent stack. Nothing, too special, and not like a overly large, stack. But I got this. Actually, I got a few from the thrift store down the road from where from where I'm, living. It's probably less than 5 miles, give or take, probably. Um, and I know the owner there, so from time to time, I tend to get a good deal once in a while. But I went in there to see if they added anything new. They did, and they have marked the prices up. I think at one point they were $1. Now they're $2, but I ended up getting for $5 the Addams Family, the complete series. This is the original 1960s black and white series. Love this show. Watched the reruns back in the day, and I need to pick up the Munsters. I really wish, and this is nothing against the studios or anything like that. Well, I wouldn't say against the studios, but it's not against any fans of these shows. But I would love to see a colorized version of the Munsters and the Addams Family. They did it with I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched, where a lot of the seasons that were in black and white, they did manage to go back and redo those in color. So I would love for them to do the complete series of the Munsters and the Addams Family, because I like to view them in color as well as black and white, and I think it would be pretty cool. Kind of, in a way, it would give us a glimpse of what everybody saw behind the camera. That's just my personal taste and opinion, but I think it would just be a cool viewing experience. All right, continuing on before I rambling on, I found Videodrone. I've never seen this. It's David Cronenberg. I need to give it a watch. I know there's a Criterion release out there. I also believe there's an Arrow Video release as well. Picked up the Sonic Underground compilation. This is Sonic to the Rescue. Includes 4 episodes. We have The Deepest Fear, Last Resort, Head Games, and Doomsday. You can never go wrong with Sonic. I don't know if this is like late 90s, early 2000s. 98. So yeah, I didn't realize Sonic Underground was around in the late 90s. This was a pretty cool find. I found 102 Dalmatians. The sequel's alright. It's not like the best out of the films. I prefer the first film. I love the first film. I saw it in theaters when it first came out. I don't know why Disney didn't capitalize on these movies when Cruella came out. I thought Disney would capitalize on releasing this and the first movie on Blu-ray, but they decided not to, and yet we're still sitting here with no Blu-ray releases. And not only that, but we didn't get any Disney Movie Club exclusive Blu-rays like a lot of the films that come out are getting. So I don't know what's going on with that. Next one I picked up is Lawnmower Man. I remember watching this a few times as a kid. Pretty interesting. Never would have thought Pierce Brosnan would be in a film like this. But yeah, definitely one to check out if you haven't seen it. Not one I hear people talk about. I also have the sequel. The sequel's it's okay. I remember watching that maybe once or twice when I was younger. That was the last time. Picked up an anime film called X. I don't have a whole lot of anime other than like Akira that have a 2-season set. So I figured if I can come across some movies, why not? And then there's only like a couple more DVDs I have, and I do apologize for the shaky cam. I'm trying my best to not shake everything, but it's not going as well. So if you see the camera shake, again, I apologize. These next 2 are out of print titles. These are holy grails. One of them is about $18. I think the Snapper Case release goes for around the same price, maybe a little bit cheaper. And then this other one here is a $40 DVD. Not one I tend to come across. I don't think anybody it usually comes across this. And if you do pick it up, whether you want to keep it or flip it, it goes for a good price. I always tend to find the VHS copy. I think at one point I found like 5 copies. So yeah, I was just like, well, if I'm coming across the VHS tape, why can't I come across the DVD? But I ended up picking up House Arrest, which I do have a review for. Classic, mid '90s comedy. Great cast: Jamie Lee Curtis, Christopher McDonald, um, what's her name? Jennifer Tilly, and who else? Uh, Kevin Pollak. So yeah, really happy to pick that up. And this is the MOD release, which is completely fine with me. And then I picked up Warriors of Virtue, not one I hear people talk about. Very underrated. It's got the kid from Under Wraps. Came out actually the same year as Under Wraps. And one thing I really truly miss about 90s films, especially like kid films like that, or maybe I guess maybe like early teen films like Small Soldiers. I always miss the toy lines that would come out. So many movies during the 90s got toy lines, even movies for that weren't really intended for kids, like Waterworld got action figures. Kevin Costner's Robin Hood got action figures. RoboCop got action figures. So it just amazes me, like movies that would get figures got some, like the Super Mario Brothers movie, and then when you got movies that weren't intended for kids, they would still get toy, have a toy line. The Shadow, which is one of my favorites, I have a goal to complete that toy line. Um, what else? I mean, there's just so many films I can think of. Aliens, of all people. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know. I feel like part of me, they did it, to try to maybe get the parents to watch the films. I don't know, but I mean, it's the '90s were weird, but at the same time, it was awesome. So now we're gonna get on to the Blu-rays. I did manage to pick up a pretty decent stack of Blu-rays, so let's get into it. So this first one is an upgrade. Don't know what happened to. I think I sold my original copy, I believe, but I ended up buying another copy. But that's Braveheart, which is an upgrade. Braveheart's a good movie. It's long, but it's really good. Highly recommend. I was debating if I was going to get that on Blu-ray or 4K. I was like, I'll just go with the Blu-ray. This next one was a really cool find. It's a classic. Three Amigos with Chevy Chase, Martin Short, and Steve Martin. When was it released? 1986. Man, a lot of great films came out the year I was born. So, really, really happy to pick that one up. Picked up a lot of Scream Factory and Shout Select titles. I've been going on Declutter. Declutter has a wide range of stuff. I actually looked on their store again, and I actually put in horror Blu-rays. I could not tell you how many Severin titles I came across. Warner Archive, great prices. They had a few Shout Select titles I plan to pick up eventually. Like they had Valley Girl, which is a title I want to get. So there were so many. Um, so hopefully, if things start to get better, I'm definitely going to be boosting up my Shout Select and Screen Factory collection. Severin. I want to start really getting more into horror. So a lot of those boutique labels, studios. I'm been more fond of getting. I actually just ordered a Severin title from them, from Declutter, for like $10.99. It's a documentary, I think, on like a comic book company, like a comic book line. Like you have Dark Horse, you have Marvel, you have DC. Well, this one is a line I've never heard of, but I don't have any documentaries in my collection, so I was like, well, this is perfect. It's $10.99, which is a good price. So I'm just waiting for that to come in, as well as two other DVDs. I have a Goosebump DVD coming in, and I have a Burn on Demand release, which is stuck in Atlanta. Apparently, it's been shared on the news that the post office there has been having issues. So I don't know. I'm hoping something changes because I don't really want to wait so long just to get that. So anyway, let's continue on. Picked up The Burning. Did not have this in the collection. I've heard some pretty great things about this one, so I wanted to give it a watch. From what I was told, it's kind of similar to like Friday the 13th, which is perfect. Um, and a lot of you YouTubers out there have really caught my interest in a lot of these films that I pick up, because when I see you guys picking up films, if anybody out there is in the movie community that does watch my videos, and I also watch a lot of people that I don't think are subscribed to me, probably not, but I do watch guys like Ryan 1988, Christian Hannah, Planet Christian Hannah, or and so many others, and they really inspired me on getting a lot of the horror films that I have in my collection because of just talking about the film, the plot, and I'm a big practical effect guy. I've always been a fan. It was originally a profession I wanted to get into as a kid. Um, as I gotten older and started really looking more into the world of film, that passion went away and actually got me into wanting to just, you know, be someone who reviews films, makes my own film, which I plan to one day. But yeah, at one point or another, I wanted to be a special effects makeup artist and a practical effect creator. Yeah. So, one of the biggest reasons why I'm into horror and why I prefer 80s horror over 90s and 2000s horror. Give or take, there's rare occasions, but a lot of the horror we get today, I'm not too fond of. Continuing on as I keep rambling, picked up a couple Shout Select releases. Got The Burbs, which was an upgrade from the bare bones release I had. Picked up Dragnet, great movie, one of my favorites. Did a review for that. And then The Jerk, which was another upgrade, boosting my Shout Select collection. I have The Explorers, I've got Mr. Mom, and then I've got Roadhouse. So far it's building up pretty good. I still want to pick up a few more, like what else is there? I need to pick up Red Dawn, the original, Deer Hunter, um, the Police Academy. So there's a few. Next is the Scream Factory release of The Craft. I was originally interested in the 4K, but when the 4K came out, I heard some really bad things about the transfer, so it really caught me off to that point where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go with the Blu-ray. And I did manage to get it brand new off of Declutter with the slip. Not in the best shape, but that's okay. But yeah, great movie, great 90s movie. Great cast. Picked up The Crow Salvation. I did a review for this. This is a limited online exclusive by Shout Factory, Scream Factory. All of the special features from the DVD are transferred over. I'm hoping that they decide to go with Wicked Prayer and City of Angels because the day that happens, my happy ass is going to pre-order those, and they are quick. I pre-ordered this on a Thursday, right before I went to Dollar Tree. By the time I left and I was on my way home, I got notified that it was shipped. That they shipped it, and then that Tuesday I ended up getting it. That following Tuesday, so yeah, did it. I ended up watching it. Did a review. Great release. I hope they do the rest of the Crow films, at least other than the first movie, and I hope they do the TV series. I will cross my fingers that they do Cities of Angel, Wicked Prayer, and Stairway to Heaven, which is the TV series. Excuse me. I want to get the DVD release of that. I used to have it. I got rid of it, and I was such an ass for doing that because it went out of print. I had the Time, what was it, like the Time Life release where it had the individual cases but the really crappy cardboard slipcover. But then I didn't realize that Canada had its own release, which the artwork, it's in more of a standard keep case, and it's got like Eric Draven in the apartment where he was thrown out the window. That cover looked great, and I liked just that everything was in one case and stuff. But yeah, pretty cool release. But nonetheless, I hope to eventually pick that up. But I hope Shout Factory can release that on Blu-ray. Picked up Trick or Treat. I've held off on getting this many times, at least on Blu-ray, because there's a lot of these horror titles have had Blu-ray releases, but they're more of like the bare bones films like this, Return of the Living Dead, um, Teen Wolf. So it's nice to see those films get re-released in collector's editions. Next is Bubba Hotep, a title I was thinking about getting on 4K, but decided not to, but I've heard some good things about it. And then I ended up picking up Misery, a really great Stephen King adaptation. Can be a hard watch, but Kathy Bates and James Caan are fantastic. Picked up a Disney title. I had some points to redeem. They're starting to slowly take some of the Disney Blu-ray exclusives and add them to the, redeem section. I think they got like, what do they have? Herbie Fully Loaded and The Love Bug, and then this one, and that was The Parent Trap. Classic. Absolutely love this movie. Very happy to add it to the collection. Picked up 2 Arrow video releases. Picked up Psychomania, which is about zombie bikers. Why not? I mean, you can't go wrong with that, that's for sure. And then I picked up the original Crazies by George A. Romero. I've seen the remake of this. The remake's pretty decent. I would say it's probably one of my favorite remakes. But yeah, I haven't seen this, so that may change. But I do like the remake for what it is. Let me save these for last. So we all know the Walmart Steelbook craze is happening, and some of the titles they have are great. Others hard pass. They looks like there's one thing I hate is the constant re-releases. Man, like now Vestron's re-releasing some of their older titles on Steelbook. Basically it's I think the disc is different too, so they're just re-releasing it in a Steelbook edition. Right now we have Little Monsters, and the one I'm about to show you, which is none other than David Cronenberg's Shivers. This one they released, and here's the J card. They just announced the release. They're releasing 2 others, The Gate and some, what is it, Serpent and Worm type of title. That title was like one of their earlier titles along with The Gate. And at that time of those releases, those are expensive. They're still like $20 to $30, give or take. So I think the steelbooks are going to be 20. So my goal is to at least grab the ones I don't have. But then again, I may just order all the rest that I need off of Amazon. Might just do a zip payment or something. It just depends. Picked up the complete series of Batman Beyond. I have Batman the Animated Series. I was holding off on this, and then I just need Superman. Great steelbook. It's a little dent, but that's okay. I just don't like that they stack the discs on top of each other. I think that was kind of lazy, but you do get the Return of the Joker movie, so that's a bonus. And then the 2 4K titles I picked up are the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Not sure why they couldn't just add this J card on the back here instead of it just being plain. That makes no sense. And then War Scream Factory, because I ended up picking up Creepshow. This was one of the must-haves for me. I didn't want to pass on the opportunity of this one. This just looks. This steelbook is absolutely amazing. Look at that. You cannot go wrong with that. And then here's the J card. So I do have a couple titles coming in. As I stated, I've got one Burn on Demand release DVD that I got new from a film I haven't seen in years. It stars Rosie O'Donnell and Dan Aykroyd. And then I have a Goosebumps DVD coming in, which is probably going to be the next type of collection that I pick up. And then I waiting for the Severin documentary that I talked about earlier. 2 of them I should be getting soon, but the Burn on Demand release that I ordered, there's issues, like I said, with Atlanta's post office. So we'll see what happens, but I didn't want to wait to do a collection wait on those, because who knows how long it's going to take to get that last one. So those eventually will move on to a different update. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to this collection update. Sorry had to run so long. But let me know what your thoughts are on any of these movies if you've seen them. Give this video a like, it's much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel for more content, and thank you guys so much for commenting on my videos. It's much appreciated. I'm Film Talk with Mikey, and until next time, guys, we'll talk films. Peace.